If you truly love someone, you will water the flower instead of plucking it. This powerful quote reveals the delicate, nurturing essence of true love from a Buddhist perspective. True love is gentle, allowing others to flourish rather than holding them tightly. Welcome to Zen Calm, where today we embark on a journey to explore what true love really means, according to Buddhism. We'll uncover insights that resonate across generations, bringing us closer to understanding love, not as attachment, but as a deep, compassionate kindness. In this video, we'll delve into the heart of love versus attachment, exploring the qualities of compassion, kindness, and selflessness that form the foundation of genuine love. Through relatable stories, inspiring quotes from Buddhist teachers, and practical guidance, we'll reflect on how these qualities can enrich our relationships with others and ourselves. If you're interested in diving deeper into these transformative teachings, please take a moment to subscribe to Zen Calm. Join us on this path toward love, wisdom, and inner peace. In Buddhist philosophy, love is seen as fundamental to our existence, much like the air we breathe or the sunlight that nourishes all life. Buddhism teaches that love should be unconditional and selfless, free from the demands and constraints that we often attach to it, particularly in romantic relationships. Buddha's teachings remind us, attachment is the root of suffering. This single statement points to a profound truth in Buddhist thought, that much of our suffering arises from our attachments, which we often misinterpret as love. True love, as Buddhism defines it, is an embodiment of kindness and compassion. These qualities elevate both the giver and the receiver, creating a relationship that nurtures and supports without seeking anything in return. True love is a pure intention to bring happiness to someone, even if that happiness doesn't involve us personally. It's the ability to say, "I want you to be happy," even if that happiness doesn't include me. In this way, true love is inherently liberating. It does not bind, rather, it frees. On the other hand, attachment, which is often mistaken for love, speaks with a different voice. Attachment says, "Why aren't you making me happy?" It involves a personal expectation that others will fulfill our emotional needs, leading to disappointment and suffering when these expectations are unmet. Attachment can feel confining, demanding the other person to constantly provide validation, affection, and reassurance. The contrast between true love and attachment invites us to consider how we view our relationships. Do we love people because of who they are, or do we love them for what they can provide us? True love respects the other person's independence, while attachment attempts to control and restrict. To truly cultivate love, Buddhist philosophy teaches us to let go of preconceived ideas and expectations. Thich Nhat Hanh, the revered Zen master, offered a valuable metaphor for this practice when he said, "You cannot pour tea into a cup that is already full." This simple but powerful image reminds us that a mind filled with attachments and rigid beliefs has no room to receive or understand true love. Just as a cup must be empty to hold fresh tea, our hearts must be free from the baggage of attachments, demands, and expectations to experience real compassion and kindness. Letting go of these preconceptions is often easier said than done. It requires a level of self-awareness and mindfulness that helps us notice our attachments and gently release them. This practice isn't about being indifferent or detached, but rather about finding a balance where love can flow freely without the weight of expectations. To explore this concept more deeply, let's consider a few reflection questions. As you think about these, allow yourself to be honest and open. Remember, this reflection is not about judgment, but about growing in awareness and understanding. When you imagine love, Do you find it connected to expectations, or does it feel free from demands? Many of us have been conditioned to associate love with expectations. We might expect our loved ones to behave a certain way, to support us in particular ways, or to be a constant source of happiness. However, Buddhist teachings encourage us to notice when love becomes conditional and to work toward freeing it from these constraints. Have you ever felt love without wanting anything in return, like the unconditional love of a parent? Parental love is often cited as the purest form of love because it is usually given without expectation of reciprocity. Parents typically want their children to be happy, regardless of personal cost. This selflessness can be a model for how we aim to love others, releasing the need for validation or fulfillment from them. Reflecting on these questions may reveal areas in your relationships where attachment has taken the place of true love. By becoming aware of this distinction, we gain the power to let go of attachments that lead to suffering, allowing us to experience a deeper, more liberated form of love. This foundational understanding of love versus attachment sets the stage for exploring deeper aspects of Buddhist teachings on love. As we continue, remember that true love, according to Buddhism, is always a giving force, rather than one that seeks to take. With compassion and kindness at its core, love becomes a path toward freedom, not restriction. In the next section, we'll delve into the specific qualities that define true love and how these differ fundamentally from attachment, offering insights into how we can cultivate this pure form of love in our own lives. As we continue to explore the Buddhist perspective on love, it's essential to examine attachment, often seen as the opposite of true love. Buddhism describes attachment as the fuel for the fire of suffering, a phrase that powerfully illustrates how attachment binds us to pain. This metaphor brings to light the way attachment latches onto our desires and expectations, making us vulnerable to disappointment, hurt, and even betrayal. At the heart of attachment lies our drive to fulfill personal needs, not a selfless desire to love and nurture another person. To better understand this concept, let's imagine a parable that illustrates the nature of attachment. Picture yourself holding tightly to a rope attached to a wild animal. You hold on with all your strength, afraid to let go, fearful of what might happen if you lose control. The animal resists, pulling away, and your hands begin to blister and ache from the tension. In this struggle, it's you who suffers the most. The harder you hold, the more intense the pain. Now imagine if, instead of tightening your grip, you simply released the rope. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning or losing the animal. It means freeing yourself from the need to control or possess it. This act of release mirrors true love, which is based not on holding tightly, but on giving freedom. True love doesn't aim to possess. Rather, it supports and respects others' autonomy. This parable serves as a reminder that attachment is rooted in our need to control outcomes or people. In our relationships, this often shows up as a desire to keep others close, fulfill our needs, and validate our worth. But the cost of this control is personal suffering, as we begin to expect others to satisfy us in ways that may be beyond their ability or desire. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh offers a profound insight into this distinction, saying, "True love is when the happiness of the other person is essential to your own." In this view, love is not about securing our own comfort or happiness, but rather about supporting the growth and joy of others. This form of love, which is truly selfless, grants others the space to be themselves and to flourish, even if their happiness doesn't directly benefit us. Imagine, for example, a friend who wishes to move to another country to pursue their dreams. While attachment may lead us to feel saddened or even hurt by this decision, true love would encourage us to celebrate their journey, supporting them, even if it means letting go of daily interactions or the comfort of their presence. Attachment can feel confining and limiting because it's anchored in our desire to keep things as they are, while true love, in contrast, is inherently liberating and expansive. Reflecting on this, we see how attachment can cloud our ability to love unconditionally. When we seek happiness exclusively through someone else, we're placing an enormous weight of expectation on that relationship, essentially tying our peace and joy to another's actions and decisions. This creates a dependency that often leads to disappointment because no one can consistently fulfill all our emotional needs. Imagine how freeing it would be to love without expecting anything in return. This type of love doesn't diminish our joy. Instead, it brings a profound sense of inner peace. When we practice letting go of attachment, we find that we're no longer burdened by the need for others to act a certain way. Instead, we experience a steady and enduring peace that is unaffected by the ups and downs of external circumstances. To help cultivate this mindset, try a simple exercise whenever you find yourself expecting something specific from someone you care about. Take a moment to recognize the expectation and ask yourself, is this expectation based on my own needs, or does it come from a place of genuine care for the other person? If you find that it's tied to your own desire for comfort or happiness, visualize releasing that expectation as if you were letting go of the rope in our parable. Notice the lightness that comes from releasing control and the peace that arises when you embrace the idea that true love is about allowing others the freedom to be themselves. Ultimately, practicing this form of unconditional love brings us closer to inner peace. In Buddhism, the practice of letting go isn't about detaching from people or avoiding relationships. Instead, it's about shifting from a possessive, demanding love to one that respects, liberates, and nurtures. When we love in this way, we aren't seeking to gain anything. Rather, we find a serene and enduring happiness within ourselves, a happiness that cannot be taken away because it's not dependent on external sources. In the next part of our journey, we'll dive deeper into the qualities that define true love: kindness, compassion, and empathy. These qualities lie at the heart of Buddhist teachings on love and provide practical ways to build a compassionate, selfless approach in all our relationships. By understanding and embracing the difference between true love and attachment, we lay the foundation for relationships that bring us closer to lasting peace and fulfillment. In Buddhism, kindness and compassion go beyond simple emotions. They represent the very essence of love. Compassion, known as karuna in Pali, isn't just about sympathizing with others. It's about deeply feeling their suffering and cultivating a genuine wish to alleviate it. This deep empathy, when nurtured, connects us to others on a profound level and liberates us from the limitations imposed by our own desires and egos. In Buddhism, compassion is seen as an essential quality of a life well lived. It encourages us to break free from the individualistic focus on personal fulfillment and instead embrace a collective approach to happiness, one that includes the well-being of others. Compassion doesn't weaken us. On the contrary, it empowers us to love more fully and to experience the kind of love that transcends conditions or boundaries. Buddha illustrated this ideal beautifully when he said, Just as a mother would protect with her life her only child, so should we cultivate boundless love toward all beings. This powerful metaphor offers a clear image of selfless love, a love that is protective, unconditional, and nurturing. Like a mother's love, true love in Buddhism is limitless and boundless, not restricted to our family or friends, but extended to all beings. This boundless love is what the Buddha encouraged us to cultivate, as it allows us to transcend our personal wants and desires, reaching out to every living being with a heart that wishes well for all. In this way, compassion is not merely a personal virtue, but a bridge that connects us to others and fosters a sense of unity and universal love. To illustrate this ideal of compassion, let's consider a simple yet powerful story. Imagine two friends embarking on a journey through a dense forest. As they walk, one friend stumbles and injures his leg, making it difficult for him to continue. Faced with this setback, the other friend has a choice. He could leave his injured companion behind and continue alone, or he could stay to help. Choosing compassion, the friend decides to carry his companion's belongings and slow his pace, adapting to the injured friend's needs. This act of kindness may seem small, but it speaks volumes about the nature of true compassion. Instead of prioritizing his personal comfort or convenience, he places his friend's well-being above his own needs, displaying a love that is selfless and deeply empathetic. In Buddhism, this kind of compassion, prioritizing the well-being of others over our own, is the embodiment of love in its purest form. It is not motivated by personal gain or recognition, but by a genuine concern for another's happiness and relief from suffering. This act shows us that true love is both patient and empathetic, willing to adapt and make sacrifices when needed. As we reflect on this story, we can see how true love goes hand in hand with kindness, patience, and empathy. This type of love is not restricted by personal desires or needs, but is fueled by a selfless wish to support and uplift others. When we witness someone else's suffering and feel a natural urge to help, we are experiencing compassion in action, a love that is boundless and unconditional. The story of these two friends serves as a reminder that in Buddhism, love is not measured by how much we gain from a relationship, but by our willingness to extend ourselves in service and kindness. True love encourages us to step outside of our own comfort zones and become a source of comfort and support for others, no matter the inconvenience. Buddhist teachings urge us to make kindness, compassion, and empathy central to our daily interactions. This means not only practicing love toward those closest to us, but extending this compassionate spirit to strangers and even those with whom we may have difficulties. Buddha's words encourage us to adopt a universal approach to love, where our actions reflect a heart that seeks to uplift all beings, not just those who serve our own interests. One practical way to incorporate this teaching is by observing our reactions when we encounter someone in need, whether it's a friend facing a difficult situation, a family member in need of support, or even a stranger struggling with something as simple as opening a door. Practicing empathy in these moments allows us to connect to the universal thread of compassion that unites us all. In essence, true love in Buddhism is a boundless, compassionate force that goes beyond personal desires. It invites us to cultivate a selfless, nurturing heart that naturally empathizes with the struggles and joys of others. This form of love brings with it a profound sense of fulfillment, as it enables us to connect deeply with others and find happiness in their well-being. As we internalize these teachings, we begin to see that true love fueled by kindness, compassion, and empathy, is not confined to those we know or cherish. It is an open-hearted approach to life, one that treats each person as worthy of love and respect. In doing so, we create a world where love becomes a shared experience, and compassion leads us toward a more peaceful and connected existence. In the following section, we will explore practical ways to bring this boundless compassion into our daily lives through mindful practices and meditation techniques that deepen our ability to love selflessly and fully. Shifting from attachment to true love is a transformative journey that requires conscious practice and self-awareness. In Buddhism, this journey begins with mindfulness, which is the practice of being fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and the motivations behind our actions. The renowned Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh often emphasized that mindfulness is the foundation of compassion. By being present with ourselves, we observe our inner world without judgment, allowing us to understand our attachment-driven thoughts and let them go. In this state, compassion and true love have the space to grow naturally. One of the most powerful ways to nurture true love and compassion in Buddhism is through Metta Bhavana, or loving-kindness meditation. This practice is centered around sending thoughts of love and kindness to ourselves, to those we love, and even to those with whom we may have difficulties. Metta, the Pali word for loving kindness, isn't simply about wishing well. It is a deep and transformative practice that reshapes our hearts and minds, moving us beyond self-centered emotions. Begin with yourself. Find a comfortable, quiet space where you can sit and close your eyes. Begin by focusing on yourself. Say silently, "May I be happy, may I be well, may I be at peace." Feel these words as you repeat them, letting them fill your mind with self-compassion and kindness. Extend to loved ones. Once you feel centered, think of someone close to you whom you care about deeply. Visualize them and silently repeat, "May you be happy, may you be well, may you be at peace." Allow a warm feeling of love to emerge, imagining that your wishes for their happiness surround them. Expand to acquaintances and challenging people. Extend your loving kindness to acquaintances and eventually to those with whom you may have conflicts or challenges. This can be difficult, but it's essential in cultivating boundless compassion. Say, "May you be happy, may you be well, may you be at peace." Feel the barriers melt away as you send out genuine wishes for their happiness and well-being. Finally, broaden your focus to encompass all beings, wherever they may be. Picture the entire world, or a vast expanse, filled with all forms of life, and say, "May all beings be happy, may all beings be well, may all beings be at peace." This meditation is profound because it expands our compassion beyond the boundaries of personal relationships. It teaches us to view everyone with a sense of loving kindness, helping us detach from the limitations of self-centered love. Over time, Metta Bhavana cultivates a compassionate heart that goes beyond personal gain, creating the foundation for true love. While meditation cultivates inner compassion, bringing that compassion into daily life requires compassionate action. In Buddhism, acts of kindness don't need to be grand or heroic. Often, the smallest gestures hold the most meaning. A simple smile, a listening ear, or lending a helping hand are all ways we can bring compassion into our daily interactions. Smile and acknowledge. A genuine smile can brighten someone's day and remind them they are seen and valued. Taking a moment to acknowledge others, whether they are friends, family, or strangers, is a small act that fosters connection. Listen deeply. Sometimes, compassion means just being present. When someone shares their thoughts or concerns, practice listening without judgment or interruption. Thich Nhat Hanh calls this deep listening, a practice of hearing with an open heart. This form of listening can be healing, as it allows others to feel truly heard and understood. Help in small ways. Compassionate action is often found in small, mindful gestures. Holding the door open, offering a seat, or carrying something for someone who needs it are simple ways to show care without expectation. These acts build a habit of generosity, making us more receptive to others' needs. Each act of kindness reinforces our ability to love selflessly, helping us shift away from attachment. When we engage in compassionate actions, we start to experience the happiness that comes from giving without expecting anything in return. This builds a heart that is open, resilient, and increasingly capable of unconditional love. We become a source of kindness and support for those around us, creating an atmosphere where love and compassion thrive. These practices of mindfulness, Metta Bhavana, and compassionate action work together to cultivate a love that is pure, patient, and expansive. When we bring these practices into our lives, we start to witness a gradual shift from attachment-based relationships to connections grounded in true love and compassion. Each day, as we become more aware of our thoughts, practice loving kindness, and engage in small acts of kindness, we create an inner world where peace and joy are not dependent on others, but are sustained by our own compassion. The journey toward true love in Buddhism isn't about perfection, but about intention and practice. As we strive to bring compassion into our thoughts and actions, we lay the foundation for relationships that are not bound by expectation, but are sustained by understanding and empathy. This path of true love, cultivated through mindfulness, Metta Bhavana, and compassionate action, leads us to a profound inner peace, one that remains steady regardless of life's external fluctuations. In practicing these steps, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute positively to the lives of those around us. Through loving kindness and compassion, we build connections that are deeper and more fulfilling, rooted in a love that seeks not to possess, but to support and uplift. As you move forward, may you find joy in each act of kindness, and may your heart grow in compassion. As we conclude, we see that embracing true love over attachment transforms us, creating a wellspring of peace within. With love that is selfless and compassionate, our relationships become more fulfilling, and we gain a profound sense of freedom. Let's hold close the words, "Peace begins with a smile," from Mother Teresa, as a reminder that love and kindness bring us to true happiness. May you have the courage to love with an open heart and the strength to walk with compassion, bringing peace to all those around you. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Zen Calm to continue this journey with us. May each step you take be filled with joy, kindness, and boundless peace. Thank you for watching, and until next time, may peace and love accompany you every day.